New York Mets are on the air.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kid, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking the ball. Not so home runs over the wall. Inside, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the M-E-T-S Mets from New York town.
Well, hi, everybody. This is Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner, greeting you from the Polo Grounds with a broadcast of today's game between the New York Mets and the Milwaukee Braves, brought to you by Rheingold Extra Dry and Cool Cigarettes. Today's broadcast is authorized under radio rights granted by the New York Mets solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Mets is prohibited. Right now, Al Barlick and his umpiring team are meeting at home plate with Bobby Bregan and Casey Stengel. Right now would be a good time to light up a cool cigarette. Cool Filter Kings, the cigarette that gives you rich, mellow tobaccos and extra coolness. A refreshing coolness you feel in your throat. And say, how about checking your supply of cold Rheingold? Rheingold Extra Dry. Yes, sir, put some Rheingold on ice. It'll add a lot to your enjoyment of the game. Now, here is a beer with a clean, clear taste, brisk and bright all the way through. Rheingold is beer as beer should taste. Dry tells you why. Now, here are the lineups and batting orders. Milwaukee will have Roy McMillan playing short. He will lead off. Lee Maye in center field, batting second. Henry Aaron in right field, hitting third. Eddie Mathews, the third baseman, will be the cleanup hitter. Don Dillard playing left field and hitting number 5. Tommie Aaron at first base, batting sixth. Bob Uecker behind the plate, hitting seventh. Denis Menke playing second base and batting eighth. On the mound and batting ninth, Warren Spahn. For the New York Mets, Jim Piersall in center field leading off. Charlie Neal playing third and batting second. Ron Hunt will be at second base, batting third. Frank Thomas in left field, hitting cleanup. Jim Hickman in right field, batting number 5. Chico Fernandez playing shortstop, batting sixth. Cliff Cook will be at first base, batting seventh. Norm Sherry behind the plate, batting eighth. And on the mound and batting ninth, right-hander Jay Hook. Ed Vargo umpiring the plate, Doug Harvey at first, Lee Wire at second, and Al Barlick will be at third. The skies a brilliant blue, warm and sunny with a temperature of 78 degrees, and the breeze blowing in favor of the left-hand batters from right across toward left. We'll be getting underway with the play-by-play of today's game in just 1 minute. Right now, though, a word from Cool Cigarettes.
Are you thinking of changing to a menthol cigarette? Well, don't make a disappointing change. Make the right change. Come up to Cool. Here's why.
Your cigarette's not tasting cool enough unless you're smoking cool. You're not smoking cool enough till you come up to Cool. Cool's menthol magic, brighten up taste, refreshing all day through. Feel extra coolness in your throat as Cool comes through for you. You're not smoking cool enough till you come up to Cool.
Enjoy the extra coolness you feel in your throat when you smoke Cool. Enjoy that bright, clear taste all day long. Come up to Cool. Cool with the pure white filter or Cool without filter.
Now the New York Mets take the playing field. Right-hander Jay Hook making his way toward the mound. He'll be pitching to Norm Sherry. We'll set up the defense for the New York Mets for you in just a moment. Right now, though, as Jay Hook reaches the mound, we'll have the audience here in the Polo Grounds rising for the playing of our national anthem. Playing of our national anthem. It's play ball in the Polo Grounds in the finale of the two-game series between New York and Milwaukee. For the New York Mets, with Warren Spahn pitching for Milwaukee, Casey again has an all right-handed batting lineup, with the exception of his pitcher, Jay Hook. Cliff Cook is playing first base. Ron Hunt will be at second. Chico Fernandez playing short, and Charlie Neal is at third. In the outfield, Frank Thomas in left, Jimmy Piersall in center, around in right field, Jim Hickman. Behind the plate, Norm Sherry, and on the mound, Jay Hook. Jay Hook opposed Warren Spahn in the home opener for the Braves this year in Milwaukee. Spahny went all the way to win the game by a score of 6-1. Jay has a lifetime record against Milwaukee of no wins and 4 losses. Warren Spahn this year against New York has won 1 and lost 1. He won the home opener against Jay Hook 6-1, and he lost 3-1 to Alvin Jackson and the New York Mets on the 20th of April here in the Polo Grounds. Spahny has a lifetime record against New York of 4 wins and 2 losses. The other loss to New York came early last year on a dramatic 9th-inning home run by Hobie Landry. Now, Roy McMillan will be the leadoff hitter in the game. Just about a perfect day for baseball. Jay Hook into his windup now, and the first pitch of the day, a fastball too high, 1 ball and no strikes. Mets have lost 33 games this year, and none of the 33 any tougher to absorb than the setback they took last night when the Braves got 3 in the 9th inning to win 3-2. Now Jay Hook is over the head. Down comes his pitch to McMillan. It's whacked foul. Back upstairs, it'll be out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Veteran Roy McMillan batting at .218 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. Tomorrow will be an off day for both New York and Milwaukee. Braves utilize the off day to fly to Pittsburgh, where they have a series with the Bucks over the weekend. It'll be an off day for New York, and they open the Cardinal series Friday night. An off-speed delivery taken low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Casey will have Alvin Jackson opening the St. Louis series on Friday night, with Roger Craig facing the Cardinals on Saturday. Right now, the Cardinals have 3 of the top 5 hitters in the National League. They're a game and a half out of first. In the dirt, ball 3, 3-1 now on Roy McMillan. Lee Lee Maye, the center fielder, will be hitting next, and then Hank Aaron, the right fielder. Dixie Walker on the coaching lines at first, and JoJo White on the lines at third. 3-1 delivery. A foul ball hit toward the roof down the left field line. It's out of play, 3-2. Braves now lead the season series 5-4. Victory by Milwaukee last night was their first win in the Polo Grounds in 5 games. Now the 3-2 delivery. Too high and inside. He had to hit the dirt to get out of the way. Ball 4. Jay Hook was a winning pitcher in his last start, and it was his best game of the entire year. A superb 2-hitter to throttle the Chicago Cubs on Memorial Day 2-1. Then his last outing, he won his 3rd game of the year in relief, a 10-inning battle against Pittsburgh in the 2nd game of the Sunday doubleheader. Lee Maye, the batter, ground ball hit down to first. Cook grabs it, throws to second. There's one. Fernandez to Cook, double play. The New York Mets unfolding their 51st double play in their 54th ball game. Today's game is number 54 for Casey and the Mets. That means they have now reached the 1/3 mark in the baseball season. Mets, with very few postponements, have been playing as many, if not more, ball games than anybody else in the major leagues. They had a game postponed with the Dodgers, which will be made up on the night of July 10th, and a game postponed with Houston. Henry Aaron whacks the ball foul back toward the roof. It's out of play. Mayor's Trophy game was rained out. It will be made up on Thursday night, June 20th at Yankee Stadium. Two outs and nobody on. This is a strike. A 2-strike count on Hank Aaron. The Mets have not been rained out on the road all year long, and they have been rained out at home only twice. Once with the Dodgers and once with the Colt 45s. Very few baseball seasons do you reach the 1/3 mark with only 2 rainouts. Just off the outside corner, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we have another big weekend of baseball coming up. Johnny Keane and the St. Louis Cardinals coming into town. A game and a half out of first, depending on the outcome of their action today. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Real good changeup by Jay Hook to strike out Henry Aaron. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. The score in the middle of the first, the Braves nothing, and the New York Mets coming to bat. Well, fans, a lot of people keep changing their brands of cigarettes, then after a while they're changing again. Can't seem to make the right choice. Now, if that's been happening to you, it's time you came up to Cool. I did. Made the change that really counts to Cool Filter King. You see, only Cool gives you rich, mellow tobaccos and extra coolness. Extra coolness that comes to you free and easy through Cool's Pure White Filter. That refreshing extra coolness you can feel in your throat. Yes, sir, you're not smoking cool enough till you come up to Cool. Why don't you make the change that really counts? And when you do, come up to Cool, you'll find that refreshing difference coming through for you, pack after pack. Why not get yourself a carton today? Cool Filter Kings with a Pure White Filter. You'll never have to change again. Day action in the major leagues will be a doubleheader at Wrigley Field between the Giants and the Cubs. Willie Mays in the first inning has hit his 11th home run of the year. It came with a man on. He connected off Dick Ellsworth. A I think Ellsworth has given up only 1 or 2 home runs all year. He has been really amazing. So the Giants lead the Cubs 2-0 in the first inning out in Chicago. Jack Fisher pitching for the Giants, and Dick Ellsworth 7-3 for the Chicago Cubs. Ellsworth, his last time out, hurled a one-hitter, and the only hit was a bunt single by Wes Covington. Now Jimmy Piersall up against Warren Spahn. First pitch thrown by Spahn outside and high. 1 ball and no strikes. At the age of 42, Warren Spahn leads the Braves pitching staff in victories. Warren already has won 7, lost only 3. At the age of 42, he is the workhorse of the staff, has pitched more innings than any other pitcher on the staff. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jimmy Piersall. Two oldest members of the mound staff have worked the most innings for Milwaukee. Sonny, 82 innings, and Burdette, 71 2/3. Strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So if they say that baseball is a young man's game, they're not taking into consideration the likes of Warren Spahn and Lou Burdette. Pitching 1 and 2. Fouled back toward the screen by Jimmy Piersall. 1 and 2. It's been a rugged homestand for Jimmy. Up until last night, he had been hitting the ball hard, but simply had not been able to find any holes. Jimmy perhaps starting to press a little bit too much. Didn't hit the ball well in the game last night. Pitching 1 and 2. Outside and low in the count, even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Charlie Neal coaching his first, and Cookie Lavagetto at third. Braves have the infield a bunch toward the middle against Piersall. The 2-2 pitch. Foul ball off the fist, back up against the screen, no play. Charlie Neal on deck, and then Ron Hunt. Both Bobby Brigham and Casey Stengel are going with their same lineup in today's game that they opened the game with last night. Pitching 2 and 2. A ground ball hit toward the hole, glove-handed by Eddie Mathews. He pegs on to first in time for the out. One away, nobody on. Mathews going off to his glove side, cutting that ball off before it reached the hole. Here's Charlie Neal. Charlie batting at .236. Charlie got the Mets off to a good start in the game last night when he singled and later scored in the first inning. Off the outside corner. Ron Hunt helped to build the run. He singled to center field, and Neal raced to third. After a walk to Frank Thomas loaded the bases, Hickman scored Neal with a sacrifice fly. Fastball for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Charlie Neal. When this homestand winds up with the 2 games against Cincinnati Monday and Tuesday, Mets then hit the road. Outside, 2 and 1. Their next road trip will be a rather short road trip, and on the trip they'll be going to County Stadium in Milwaukee. So the Mets and the Braves are playing practically all of their games in the first half of the season. Foul ball back. 2 and 2 on Charlie Neal. They will have played 13 of their 18 scheduled ball games long before the season reaches the halfway point. Fouled off. Nicked that one off the end of the bat. On their second visit to New York, they make their final trip to New York the last couple of days of August. Now Neal swishing the bat around, waiting on Spahn. Now Warren double pumping. Up goes the leg. Down comes the arm. A grounder hit down toward Eddie Mathews. He's up with it. He pegs across to Tommie Aaron, retiring Charlie Neal. 2 up and 2 set aside on ground balls hit down to Eddie Mathews. That'll bring on Ron Hunt. Ron batting at .272 with 3 homers and 13 RBI. Big play in the game for the Braves last night came in the first inning when Hunt was on second. Mets had runners on first and second, 2 down. Bob Henley broke a curveball off in the dirt that was blocked by Uecker, and it bounced about 6 or 7 yards away. And Uecker recovered in time to throw to third and get Ron Hunt. Strike on the outside corner. Uecker has a tremendous throwing arm. Two outs, nobody on. Bottom half of the first inning. Now the pitch on the way. Misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Warren Spahn, off to another big year at the age of 42, has won 334 ball games. The 1-1 pitch, slow grounder back toward the mound. Easily handled by Spahn. He pegs to first. The side is out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. At the end of 1 inning, the score, the Braves nothing, and the New York Mets nothing. The St. Louis Cardinals will be here for a 4-game weekend series starting Friday night, a Ladies' Day game Saturday, and a doubleheader on Sunday. Ralph, the complexion of the National League pennant race has certainly changed to a bright side for the Cardinals.
Well, I think that you have to give Bing Devine a lot of credit because he made the big move picking up Dick Groat from the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Dick has added quite a bit to the St. Louis Cardinal lineup. He's been a real leader for them. They've needed a person in the infield to help their club. Also, Dick has gotten off to a tremendous start with the bat. He's been a great hit-and-run man for a long time, and he fits right into their batting order. And the Cardinals, with that good hitting, looking for some long relief pitching and some short relief. And with that, they could go all the way. They certainly have a well-balanced ball club, and they certainly are a real hustling team.
Right now, the Cardinals, who have made a rapid climb after a kind of a sluggish start, in the standings today are just a game and a half out of first place. They have 3 fellas ranking in the top 5 of the National League in batting.
Of course, the number 1 guy is Dick Groat. After him, we'll find Ken Boyer and also Bill White. Don't forget one fellow, though. Guy's been around, well, almost as long as Casey Stengel, it seems. It'll be Stan Musial in here at the Polo Grounds, maybe for his next to last time. And I say maybe with great reservation.
Well, Musial, like Warren Spahn pitching here today, the elder statesman of the ball club, whereas Spahn leads the Braves in pitching victories, Stan the man, still going strong, leads the team in home runs. So we ought to have a lot of excitement over the weekend. Hope you're planning to be with us Friday night, Saturday, and the doubleheader on Sunday. Ground ball hit hard by Eddie Mathews, a base hit beyond the reach of Ron Hunt, going into right center field. Mathews singled his first time up in the game last night. Later drew 2 walks. He was the only Braves hitter until that 9th inning that caused Carl Lilly any concern at all. This is Don Dillard. He had a key hit in the 9th inning of the game last night, in which the Braves got 3 in the 9th to win 3-2. Dillard hitting at .271 on the year. Left-hand batter, feet wide apart. He's around the bunts, and it's foul going down the first base line. Today is the 5th of June. That means 10 more days for the Major League ball clubs to make any trades of any consequence before the trade deadline, which is midnight, June 15th. Over the years in baseball, the trade deadline has been a mighty exciting day, and right on the deadline, there have been many very big trades made. Lobbed over to first base. Charlie Neal in close at third. Dillard, a left-hand batter, waiting. He's around the bunt. The pitch is high. He doesn't offer. 1 ball and 1 strike. No doubt about it, the Cardinals will be trying to make a deal to strengthen their pitching because they certainly feel they have the hitting and the defense to make a serious run on the National League flag this season. 1-1 pitch, taking a high, ball 2. And who would ever have dreamt in spring training that when the season was a third gun, 54 games played, that the Chicago Cubs would be 5 games over 500 and only 3 games out of first place. Now Hook up in pitching position. There goes the runner, hit and run, a foul ball hit right down the right field line, and it is into the seats, a foul ball. That wasn't foul by very much. That was a 250-foot fly that almost became a home run. Even count now, 2-2 on Don Dillard. Tommie Aaron, the on-deck batter. Now Jay up in pitching position. Eddie Mathews leads off first. Slow grounder down the first baseline. It's a foul ball. Cook grabs it in foul ground, and so retracing his steps to home now will be Don Dillard. Henry Aaron's younger brother Tommie got off to a sluggish start hitting this year. Braves later sent him out to Denver where he played for about a month, and since they brought him back a week ago, he has really been hitting the ball hard. To make room for Tommie Aaron when he was brought back from Denver, Len Gabrielson, who beat New York a game earlier in the year with a 3-run homer, was sent to the minor leagues. Chico Fernandez shaded towards second against Dillard, a left-hand batter. Eddie Mathews on first, nobody out, no score in the game. Here's the pitch on the way. There goes Mathews, a high fly ball to center field. Jim Piersall is under it, tapping the glove waiting, puts it away for the out. Mathews now halfway, goes back to first base. That brings up Tommie Aaron. Tommie Aaron had 2 for 4 in the game last night, including a big hit in the 9th inning. Batting at .234 on the year, but he has hit very well since coming back from Denver. Breaking ball off the outside corner. 1 ball and no strikes. The lower stands on the upper deck over in left field and in the left center field corner, jam-packed with midget Mets who are here as guests of the Mets. Foul ball back toward the upper deck. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ralph, I always get a kick out of watching the midget Mets come into the park because the youngsters, they wear those ball caps like they had been playing the game for 20 years. They've really fallen in there, and it's quite a job to get them in, but they do a real good job of getting them in. Throw to first. One ball, 1 strike on Tommie Aaron, and now he steps out. Base umpires are relaxing without the traditional blue coats today because of the midsummer weather. Only Ed Vargo working the plate has the coat on, along with the inside chest protector. The 1-1 delivery, foul ball. He hit a curve like a pistol shot down the third baseline. I think the Mets were more stunned by the loss in the game to Milwaukee last night than any previous game this year. Clubhouse was a complete silence for over an hour. Pitching 1 and 2. Fouled again. Back over our radio booth and no play. strikes on Tommie Aaron. Mets have the infield hoping for a shot at the double play. Fernandez headed toward the hole a bit. Here's the pitch on the way. A foul pop-up. It's playable. Norm Sherry gets rid of the mask, drifts back, and takes it for the out. Now there are two away, and coming on to hit will be the catcher, Bob Uecker. Uecker hitting at 250. He has played very little. He has 2 hits and 8 times at bat on the year. Of the 3 Milwaukee catchers, Joe Torre has been up 136 times. Del Crandall has been up 80 times. Outside and low. 1 ball and no strike. Bob Uecker, the batter, the pitch by Jay Hook. A drive in the air to center field. Piersall is there waiting. He makes the catch, and the side is out. The ball was dancing around like a knuckleball. It was really mashed by Bob Uecker. Side retired in the second. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. At the end of an inning and a half to score, the Braves nothing, and the Mets nothing. Frank Thomas coming up to hit against Warren Spahn in the last half of the second inning. Frank narrowly missed the home run on a couple of occasions in the game last night. He hit 2 of those long drives up in the upper deck that were foul. Thomas, Hickman, and Fernandez will hit against Warren Spahn in the last half of the second. Bob Uecker working behind the plate. Braves have the infield around to left against Thomas, the pull hitter. Frank standing upright, right on top of the plate. Fastball outside, 1 ball and no strike. Now Spahn into his windup. Here's his pitch on the way. Swing and a miss on a slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bob Henley, who pitched for Milwaukee in the game last night, drew the praise of the hitters of the New York Mets. They thought he had about as good a stuff as anybody they had hit against all year long. Now Thomas swishing the bat around, cocks it off the right shoulder. The 1-1 pitch. Drives him back from the plate. It's inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jim Hickman crouched in the on-deck circle. Now Spahn with a 2-1 delivery. He runs up, fronts it, pops it in the air. Running for it is Uecker, beyond his reach. Uecker at the last moment diving headlong trying to get it. But it was beyond his reach, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Uecker giving that one a real good effort. Braves open a weekend series against the Pirates in Pittsburgh Friday night, and they'll have Bob Shaw opening that series. Al Jackson will open for New York against the St. Louis Cardinals here on the Polo Grounds on Friday night. After the Cardinal series, the Reds are in Monday night and Tuesday afternoon. Fouled back into the screen. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out, no score, last half of the second. Denis Menke deep and pulled over towards second against Thomas. Curve outside and low, ball 3, and we have a full count, 3-2. Now the payoff pitch by Warren Spahn. A drive toward right center field. It'll be a base hit. Taken on a hop by Hank Aaron, and Thomas is on with an opposite field single. Thomas took a nice, easy swing and hit the ball right where it was pitched. So there is the first hit of the game for New York, and it brings up Jim Hickman. Jim batting at .235, leads the team in RBIs with 25. Now Spahn up in pitching position. Delivers to Hickman under the knees, 1 ball and no strikes. Tommie Aaron holding against the base runner, Frank Thomas. Menke and McMillan talking back and forth at second and short. Outside and low. Ball 2, 2-0. Chico Fernandez waiting to hit next. Now Spahn checks with his battery mate Bob Uecker. 2-0 pitch. Outside, ball 3. It hops away from Uecker. No advance on the baselines by Frank Thomas. Very similar to the ball last night that was blocked and rolled a few feet away, and then Uecker pounced on it, and then a big play threw Ron Hunt out at third. Three and 0 the count on Jim Hickman. Spahn, 7 wins and 3 losses on the year. Now the pitch on the way. Ball 4, it's outside. Hickman walks. That moves Thomas to second. Nobody out. And brings up Fernandez. Right here, let's pause for station identification.
Listeners find the accent on value at WGY, the General Electric station, Schenectady. 2:32.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner. Now the hitter is Chico Fernandez, and the Braves look for the bunt. Jim Hickman has been red hot against Milwaukee all year, and Spahn pitching very carefully to him. Walked him on 4 pitches. So now the Mets have runners on first and second, nobody out. Tommie Aaron coming up the line from first base. Fernandez the batter. Outside and low, it's ball 1. Waiting on deck to bat next, the first baseman, Cliff Cook. Spahn checks his runners and delivers to the plate. He tries to bunt and misses a peg to second. Safe. Bob Uecker whipping that ball to Roy McMillan as they tried to pick off Frank Thomas. Chico Fernandez didn't square around. He tried to conceal his intentions and then bunt him over. And he was also hoping to bunt for a base hit. 1 ball, 1 strike now on Chico. Tommie Aaron still playing in close, looking for the bunt. Eddie Mathews even with the bag wide of the line at third. The 1-1 pitch. A slow ground ball back toward the mound. Spahn has only 1 play. To first base in time, getting Fernandez. Not intended as a sacrifice, but serving the same purpose. No sacrifice. He took a full swing and topped a slow roller. Denis Menke covered on the throw from Warren Spahn, and now the Mets have runners on second and third, 1 out. In his first time at bat in the game last night, Cliff Cook doubled off the right field wall. Norm Sherry comes out of the on-deck circle. Last half of the second, no score. The Mets have a threat. On a base hit, a walk, and a ground out. Now Spahn has his sign from Uecker. The wind-up and pitch to Cook. Low in the dirt, scooped out by Bob Uecker. 1 ball and no strikes. Spahn leads the Braves pitching department in just about every category. Off the outside corner, ball 2, 2-0. At the age of 42, he has won more games, completed more ball games, pitched more innings than anybody else on the staff. Frank Thomas on third, Jim Hickman on second, one down, and a 2-0 count on Cook. And they're going to put him on. They were pitching to him on the first two. Now they have a base open, and rather than make one too good to Cook, the last two are served outside intentionally. Now Norm Sherry comes on with the bases loaded. Say, now's the time to come up to cool and feel that extra coolness in your throat. Norm Sherry facing Warren Spahn with the bases loaded, one man down. No score last half of the second. Braves have the infield straight away at double play depth. The outfield just about straight away. Now Spahn winding. Here's the pitch. A ground ball hit back to the mound. Spahn fires home. There's one. Down to first. Double play on the side is out. Norm Sherry topped the grounder right back to Spahn. The play goes 1-2-3 if you're scoring along with us. Side out of the second, no runs, one hit, no errors, and two left on. Now at the end of 2 innings, the score, the Braves nothing and the New York Mets nothing. Say, you know, in addition to inviting back established major leaguers from the New York metropolitan area to participate in the second annual Old Timers Day game, President George M. Weiss also has invited several members of baseball's Hall of Fame. They'll be here for the ceremonies, which will precede the regular Mets-Phillies game on the afternoon, a Saturday afternoon of June 22nd. And Zach Wheat, one of the big Dodger heroes of the Dodgers played in Brooklyn, has accepted. Zach Wheat, a truly great left-handed hitter, and an established star with the Dodgers when Casey Stengel broke in back in 1912. The old Washington ballpark was installed at Cooperstown in 1959. Sam Rice, the great outfielder of the Washington Senators, who was elected to the Hall of Fame last winter, he'll be installed this summer, has also accepted. Rice barely missed making 3,000 hits. He retired after collecting 2,987, just 13 shy of the goal which has been reached by only 8 players in the history of the game. So the presence of Zach Wheat and Sam Rice from the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown will add greatly to all the fun and pageantry and festivities of the Old Timers Day game on Saturday afternoon, June 22nd. Certainly hope you're planning to be on hand. Right here we go to the third inning as the Braves come up against Jay Hook. All set to paint the word picture for you, Ralph Kiner.
Thank you, Bob, and hi to everybody. No score of the first pitch to the top of the third. Jay Hook to the plate, and there's a line drive to right field. Going back to right fielder Hickman, a tough chance, and he makes the catch. Jim Hickman, the one-handed, going away from the diamond. A long running catch. The ball hit about 400 feet away. So Jay now has his first out here in the top of the third. Both teams with no runs, both teams with one hit, and the batter coming into the batter's box is Warren Spahn. Warren has been the most prolific left-hand home run hitter as a pitcher in the history of baseball. He has a total of 32. And the first pitch by Jay Hook, a curveball, strike one. Spahn going for the curve, over the top, 1 strike count. Warren, always a good hitting pitcher. He's also been a great fielder and also a great pitcher. He has 5 hits and 28 trips to the plate this year, batting 179. Again, the curve, this one's too low, 1 ball, 1 strike. One of the reasons for Spahn's great success on the mound has been the fact that he has a good bat. Many, many times Warren being left in the game instead of being removed for pinch hitter. Now the 1-1 pitch. Again the curve. It's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jay Hook, respecting the bat of Warren Spahn, all with curveballs. He's 2-1. Spahn has no home runs this year. He has driven in 2 runs. A fastball line to right, a base hit. Hickman will play it off of the wall. Ball taking the bounce off. Spahn's going to try for 2. Here comes the throw. It is not in time. So Warren Spahn doubling off the wall down the right field line. Second hit off Jay Hook. And now with 1 out, the leadoff man, Roy McMillan, will come to bat. Well, Jay Hook threw 3 curveballs, got the Cat 2 balls and 1 strike, and then came in with a fastball to Warren Spahn, and Spahn lined it to right field. Again the curve, it's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jay Hook, respecting the bat of Warren Spahn, all with curveballs, he's 2-1. Spahn has no home runs this year. He has driven in 2 runs. A fastball line to right, a base hit. Hickman will play it off of the wall. Ball taking the bounce off. Spahn's going to try for 2. Here comes the throw. It is not in time. So Warren Spahn doubling off the wall down the right field line. Second hit off Jay Hook. And now with 1 out, the leadoff man, Roy McMillan, will come to bat. Well, Jay Hook threw 3 curveballs, got the Cat 2 balls and 1 strike, and then came in with a fastball to Warren Spahn, and Spahn lined it to right field. Here's Roy McMillan, who walked his first time up. Roy's batting .218. He bats on the right-hand side. No score. 1 out for the 3rd inning. 1 strike. McMillan with 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in. He was 0 for 5 in the game last night. Only 5 hits given up by the Mets. Braves winning the first game of this 2-game series 3-2. 3 of the hits coming in the 9th inning. Now Jay back with a changeup, a good one for strike 2. Roy McMillan looking. So Jay has the count his way, 0 ball and 2. The on-deck batter is Lee Maye. Now the 2-strike pitch. It's outside, a fastball wasted away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. McMillan being played straight away, a shallow center field by Jimmy Piersall. Milwaukee, by scoring 3 runs in the 9th inning of yesterday's game, broke a 23-inning scoreless streak. Jay setting. And the 1-2 pitch, a curve in the dirt. Nice block by Norm Sherry, holding Warren Spahn at second base. Spahn almost made up his mind to go. The count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wind blowing toward left field. Beautiful day for baseball. The Mets will have tomorrow off and then play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, a night game against St. Louis. Saturday, a day game. And Sunday, two games, both in the daytime. Here's a curve back. It's now 3 balls and 2 strikes. The curveball way outside. Warren Spahn at second base. No score. 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. Hook sets and comes to the plate. Curveball hit foul. So that will keep the count at 3-2 on Roy McMillan. McMillan acquired by the Cincinnati Reds in a trade that sent Juan Pizarro and Joey Jay to Cincinnati. There's a hard ground ball in the hole. A good play by Fernandez. The play at third base in time. Chico Fernandez going deep in the hole. He had no chance to go to first base. But he seized the opportunity to pick up Warren Spahn, who was moving over to third. A perfect throw as he moved away from the bag. The tag made by Charlie Neal, and it's out number 2. on at first base, robbed of a base hit as a result of a good play by Chico Fernandez, Roy McMillan. And the batter now is Lee Maye. First pitch to Maye, a curveball. Fouled down in the dirt for strike one. Maye, a left-hand batter. He hit into a double play, a 3-6-3 double play his first time up. Batting of 198. Jay, working smoothly, comes back with a high fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. That play by Chico Fernandez, a fine play. It kept Spahn from scoring a run and breaking the scoreless deadlock. And on top of it, he turned it into an out. One ball, 1 strike. Jay back to work. And the pitch is just high, a curveball. So the count moves to 2-1. Lee Maye, a professional swinger in the off-season. Batting at 2-1. Braves nothing, Mets nothing. 2 men out, top of the third. Throw to first base, but McMillan back way ahead of the throw. Now to the plate. And a curve slips outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. The on-deck batter, a big man, Hank Aaron. So Jay Hook hoping to get Lee Maye. He doesn't want to work to Hank Aaron with 2 men on. Three balls and 1 strike. Jay to the plate. And a foul ball goes out of play. So Jay now with a count of 3-2. Roy McMillan on at first base. 2 men out. On deck, Hank Aaron. Hank leads the major leagues in home runs with 16. Now the runner goes, and the 3-2 pitch down the line. It could go all the way. Going out there, and there it goes. A home run for Lee Maye, his 2nd home run of the year. Well, Lee Maye has hit 2 home runs this year, and both of them have come against the Mets. Right here, it puts the Braves out in front 2-0. His other home run won a ball game against Tracy Stollard. That home run coming to Milwaukee. Here's the first pitch to Hank Aaron. Slow curveball dropping on the outside part of the plate at the knees for strike 1. Hank struck out on the change of pace his first time up. He's now batting .313. Well, Jay Hook not wanting to walk Lee Maye and give Hank Aaron a chance with 2 on. There's a strike called, a fastball at the knee. Came in at 3-2 with a fastball, and Lee Maye hit it against the facade that fronts the upper deck. Pitch back to Hank Aaron outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That is the first home run of this 2-game series. Braves now with a total of 41. There's a base hit to right center. Jim Hickman moving over. He picks it up. Aaron rounds and holds at first base. So 3 hits in the inning now off Jay Hook. The Braves lead by a score of 2-0, and Eddie Mathews comes up. Eddie had the first hit of the game against Jay with a single to center field his first time up. Mathews batting at .278. Left-hand batter. And the first pitch to Mathews, a fastball for strike 1. Mathews with 6 home runs, 28 runs batted in. His 6 home runs this year give him a career high of 405 in his lifetime. Jay with a curve, and this one is down the line, way out there. If it's fair, it's long gone, but it's a foul ball. That ball over the roof down the right field line. So Jay gets a long strike, a real long strike, and he now has an 0-2 count to Eddie Mathews. Only Mickey Mantle ahead of Eddie Mathews in active players in home runs. And Stan Musial. There's a pitch outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mantle, in last night's game, the only run off Steve Barber, hit his 11th home run and his 415th career home run. 1-2 pitch with a runner going. The throw to second base is not in time. So Hank Aaron steals his second base of the series. And the pitch to Eddie Mathews outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Aaron had a stolen base against the Mets in the 9th inning with Carl Willie on the mound. He now has a total of 7 on the year. That leads the Milwaukee Braves club. Two balls and 2 strikes. Jay back with a fastball that's lined to left, a base hit. Aaron scores easily from second base. The ball played off the wall by Frank Thomas going into third base. So Eddie Mathews picks up his second hit of the game, this time a double, an RBI to give him a total of 29 on the year. The Braves now lead by a score of 3-0. Well, the stolen base by Hank Aaron, figuring in strongly in the inning, it set up the chance for him to score on the base hit by Eddie Mathews. Braves 3 runs now on 5 hits. The Mets have no runs and 1 hit, and warming up in the bullpen for the Mets is Don Roll. The batter now is Don Dillard, and he swings and fouls the first pitch on top of the upper deck, and the count is 1 strike and no balls. Dillard flied out to center field his first time up. He's batting .268. Dillard, a left-hand batter. And the pitch by Hook is it hits him. And Dillard gets first base. That ball just ticked his uniform, and now Norm Sherry is arguing with home plate umpire Ed Fargo that the pitch did not hit him. But Dillard gets first base, and now the Braves have runners at first and second with Tommie Aaron, the batter. Tommie, the 8th man to bat against Jay Hook here in the 3rd. 2 men out. The Braves lead 3-0. Aaron fouled out his first time up. He's batting .229. Right-hand batter, the brother of Hank Aaron, playing at first base. Jay with a stretch, and here's the pitch to Tommie Aaron. A change of pace that's on the outside corner. Strike 1. Denis Menke led off and flied out to right field. A fine catch by Jim Hickman. And Warren Spahn doubled. Roy McMillan hit into a fielder's choice out. Lee Maye then homered for 2 runs. Then Aaron and Mathews combined for 1 more. 1 strike pitch. It's way inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. A curveball hanging inside and high. Aaron singled to center field, and Mathews, after Aaron had stole second base, doubled him in. Then Don Dillard hit by a pitch ball, so the Braves have runners at first and second base, 2 men out. Here's the 1-1 pitch by Jay Hook, and it's fouled away. So Jay now out in front, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tommie Aaron, 6 years younger than Hank Aaron. Never had a chance to play with his older brother. He actually is a bigger man than Hank, although Hank, of course, has the most power. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second, 2 out. And the pitch by Jay Hook, a curve outside, and it's ball 2. Jay with a slow curveball, missing outside just about knee high. Two balls, 2 strikes. Score 3-0, Braves lead. Now Jay back with a fastball, a swing and a miss to strike him out. In the inning for the Braves, 3 runs on 4 hits. There were no errors, 2 men were left, and the score now at the end of 2.5 innings of play. The Braves 3, the New York Mets nothing. Well, all you have to do is look around and you can see it's mighty pretty this time of year. And it sure leaves you with one big impression. Nature is pretty wonderful. Let nature take its course and things turn out excellently. The natural way is generally the best. This is true with beer, too. Beer brewed the natural way is more refreshing and it tastes better. Now, Rheingold Extra Dry is brewed the natural way. It's the long, slow, costlier way, that's sure, but it pays off in taste. A taste that's brisk and bright and clean, clear through. That's why we say that Rheingold Extra Dry is beer should taste. Now look, why don't you do the natural thing? Enjoy a tall, foaming glass of Rheingold Extra Dry and discover the difference that dry makes. You'll be glad that you did. Only remember to make it Rheingold. Rheingold Extra Dry. While the Braves, with 3 runs in the top of the 3rd, have taken the lead 3-0. The Mets now coming to bat, and the batter will be Jay Hook. After Jay, the top of the batting order, Jimmy Piersall and Charlie Neal. Jay batting for the first time, hitting .167. He has 3 hits and 18 trips. He's a left-hand batter. On the mound, Warren Spahn. And the left-hander's first pitch is a strike right through their fastball. Spahn has given up 1 hit. He has walked 2 men, 1 intentionally. He was in trouble in the 2nd inning. The bases were loaded with 1 out, but then Norm Sherry hit into a double play. Now the pitch back fouled off the glove of Bob Uecker. Strike 2. Spahn being played deep by the center fielder, shallow by the left and right fielder. Should say Jay Hook. Now the 2-strike pitch. There's one, a base hit right by Eddie Mathews down the line. Coming over is Don Dillard. Jay rounds and he holds. So Don Dillard in left field playing over near the line in straightaway position against the left-hand batter. Saves the double, and the Mets now have a runner at first base with Jimmy Piersall, the batter. That's the 2nd hit off Warren Spahn. Jimmy, his first time out, bounced to 3rd. Piersall, right-hand batter, and the first pitch by Spahn. Hit right back to the shortstop, a chance for 2, an easy chance. The first one made, the second one made 2. So, the second double play in 2 innings by the Milwaukee Braves. And the Mets now have Charlie Neal batting with 2 men out. 6-4 to 3 if you're scoring. Charlie bounced to 3rd, as did Jimmy Piersall, his first time up. Batting from the right-hand side. And batting .235. Spahn with a good sinker off his fastball and also throwing a screwball, which makes the ball very hard to hit into the air. In fact, the outfield has not made a put-out against the Mets so far in the game. Braves 3 runs on 5 hits. The Mets no runs and 2 hits. 2 men out, bottom half of the 3rd. And the first pitch to Charlie Neal, taken, strike 1. Charlie taking all the way, trying to make Spahn work. Spahn with a double play, getting a good start on a very quick inning. Now back to Neal, and there's a foul ball down the right field side. It'll go into the stand. Strike two. Spahn with a good chance to win 20 games again this year. He has a record of 7 wins and 3 losses. Off to a fine start. Now he comes back inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Spahn has won 20 games quite a few times in his major league career. There's a bouncing ball that's through the middle, gloved by Roy McMillan. The throw to first base in time. This time, Roy McMillan going deep to his left, coming up with a one-hand play, a turn and a good throw to first base to get the man and retire the side. In the inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, no one left. And the score at the end of 3, the Braves 3, the New York Mets nothing. Well, next week starts off as the final series of this homestay for the Mets. The Mets playing 15 games, and they'll close up against the Cincinnati Reds, who have been playing fine baseball here of late. They have passed the 500 mark after getting off to a slow start. They are 5 games out in 5th place in the National League race. They've been getting some fine hitting from Frank Robinson. They also have Vada Pinson, Gordy Coleman, to go along with their pitching staff with Joey J., Jim O'Toole, Bob Perky, and Jim Maloney. They also will bring in Bob Skinner wearing the Cincinnati uniform for the first time. He was traded from the Pittsburgh Pirates to the Reds. So your opportunity to pick up the former National League champions of 1961, the Reds, right here in the Polo Grounds on Monday night, June the 10th. They'll also play Tuesday afternoon, June 11th. And then the Mets will go on a road trip that will take them to Milwaukee and to Cincinnati and St. Louis, returning home on the 21st against Philadelphia. So after St. Louis comes in for 4 games, Cincinnati for 2 to close out the homestand. Tickets for these games and all the other games throughout the remainder of the season, as Bob told you, the season now 1/3 past, available at 3 convenient locations, downtown at Pennsylvania Station and Grand Central Station. Also, tickets available right here at the Polo Grounds 7 days a week at the advanced reservation window, located on the 8th Avenue side. You may make ticket reservations at any Howard Kohl store in the New York area. Now it's the top of the 4th, and the first pitch by Jay Hook. A slider over, strike 1 call to Bob Uecker. Uecker lined out to center field his first time up. Spahn back to Uecker with a slow curve. It's fouled off. The count now 0-2, and we'll pause for station identification.
810 on your radio dial, WGY, connect baseball over WABC. The correct time is 2 minutes after 3. The current temperature is 80 degrees.
Ralph Kiner along with Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson from the Polo Grounds. Hook back to the plate with a curve. A check on the swing by Uecker in time. It's ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Milwaukee Braves, 3 runs on 5 hits. The Mets have no runs and 2 hits. Braves batting in the top of the 4th inning, no one out. After Uecker, it'll be Warren Spahn and Roy McMillan. A let up, it's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jay's last start, a 2-hitter against the Cubs, his best pitching effort so far this year. Now again, it's 2-2, and he misses low with a fastball. Full count now to Bob Uecker. Jay at one time had a no-hitter going against Milwaukee. He was pitching for Cincinnati at the time. He pitched 5 innings and was taken out of the ball game with the explanation by Bertie Tebbett that he was too young to pitch a no-hitter. That was his first year in pro ball. Here's the pitch. It's outside to Uecker, ball 4. So Jay has walked his second man. He walked Roy McMillan as the leadoff man in the game. Now he'll work with no one out, and Denis Menke, the batter. And here comes Casey Stengel. Don Rowe has been warming up in the bullpen since the third inning when the Braves picked up 3 runs. Day was hit hard in the third. Denis Menke led off with a line drive to right field, and Jim Hickman turned in a fine catch on it. Then Warren Spahn doubled off the wall. Roy McMillan hit a ground ball to short, which was turned into an out when Fernandez made a great play to save a base hit and pick up Warren Spahn going to third. McMillan safe at first in the fielder's choice, and he scored ahead of Lee Maye as Lee Maye hit his second home run of the year in the third. That gave the Braves 2 runs. Then Hank Aaron followed with a line drive to center field. He stole second base when Eddie Mathews was batting and then scored when Mathews doubled to left. Don Dillard followed Mathews, and he was hit by a pitch ball, but Tommie Aaron struck out to save further damage. In the third, when the Braves scored the only runs of the game, they had 3 runs on 4 hits, and they left 2 men on. Now Casey Stengel making a change. It's going to be Don Rowe. So Jay Hook officially will be credited with 3 innings of work. So far, he has been charged with 3 runs. He allowed a total of 5 hits in the game. He struck out 2, and he walked 2. Don Rowe, coming in the game, is a left-hand pitcher. While he gets set to warm up, let's check the scores. At Chicago in the first of 2, it's the Giants 2, the Chicago Cubs 2, after 3.5 innings of play. On the mound for the Giants, Fisher going for Chicago Ellsworth. Home run by Mays and Hubbs, scoring the game at 2 apiece, with Chicago batting in the bottom half of the 4th. That is the first of 2 games. St. Louis scheduled at Philadelphia at night, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh a twilighter, and Los Angeles at Houston. Giants lead the National League by 1.5 games. And now Ernie Banks in the bottom half of the 4th has hit his 9th home run of the year to give the Cubs a 4-2 lead. They're still batting. That home run by Banks is 344th in his Major League career. In the American League, New York scheduled at Baltimore, a night game, Boston at Washington, Detroit at Cleveland, Minnesota at Kansas City, and Chicago at Los Angeles, a twilighter. All the games in the American League scheduled at night. Don Rowe making his 15th appearance for the New York Mets. He has worked 34 2/3 innings, given up 42 hits, allowed 15 earned runs. He has no record, no wins, and no losses. Don with a 3.86 earned run average. He'll be working to the second baseman, Denis Menke. On at first base is Bob Uecker. No one out here in the top of the 4th. Menke, a right-hand batter, 0 for 1 in the game. And the first pitch is lined to short. On through, should say to second, on through the second baseman, picked up in right center field by Hickman. And going to third on the play is Bob Uecker. That was a hard smash. Coming over from second base was Ron Hunt. He tried to field it on the first stop, but the ball was shot on through and scored a base hit. So Menke on the first pitch by Don Rowe has moved Uecker to third. Runners now at first and third, and Warren Spahn batting. Spahn doubled to right his first time up. He's a left-hand batter. The infield playing back. Braves lead 3-0. It's in the 4th. And the first pitch to Spahn is fouled out of play, strike 1. Braves now with 6 hits in the game. 5 off Jay Hook. 1 here against Don Rowe. Spahn looking down at JoJo White. White, the third base coach. At first base, Dixie Walker. Charlie Neal now in even with the bag at third. Also holding the runner at first is Cliff Cook. The shortstop and second baseman playing back, looking for a double play. Now Spahn steps out of the batter's box, looking for another set of signs. Anytime a batter steps out of the batter's box, the original set is off and a new set has to come on. Now the one-strike pitch to Spahn, hit sharply to short, dug out by Fernandez. He's coming home. They now have Uecker in the rundown. Sherry running the runner back, and now Uecker running into Sherry, and interference is called. Actually, the technical way is obstruction. The run is allowed to score, and moving on down to second base on the play is Denis Menke. Obstruction charged against Norm Sherry. After throwing the ball to Charlie Neal, Uecker turned quickly, reversing his directions toward Norm Sherry, and he ran into Norm. It scored an error on the catcher, allowing the run to score, and of course, it's the obstruction play. Play went 6-2-5, and of course, the shortstop and third baseman get assists on the play if you're keeping a technical score. Spahn on at first base with the fielder's choice. And the Braves now lead by a 4-0 score. They're still batting with no one out. The batter is Roy McMillan. And McMillan squares around to bunt, but takes low for ball one. McMillan now stepping out of the batter's box, taking a long look at JoJo White. JoJo sending the signs at third. Charlie Neal looking for the sacrifice, playing a very shallow third. Also at first base, Cook getting ready to charge. Rowe spins around and moves the second base runner back to second. Denis Menke there. 4-0, the Braves lead. Here's the pitch back to the plate. Again, McMillan squares around, but takes for ball two. That fourth run charged against Jay Hook. Warming up in the bullpen now for the Mets is Galen Cisco. He was in last night's game. Now the bunt down to third, a real good one. Rowe picks it up. He goes to first in the dirt, and knocked over on the play is Hunt. Scoring from third base on the air will be Denis Menke, and going to third is Warren Spahn. It scored a base hit for Roy McMillan, a perfect bunt down the third baseline. When Rowe picked it up and threw low in the dirt, he was charged in air as the ball was off of the glove of Hunt covering at first base. Hunt, in trying to get to the ball and pick it up on the short hop, was bowled over by McMillan, no fault of McMillan's, and scoring on the air from third base the fifth run of the ball game. Menke scoring from third, and McMillan picking up a sacrifice hit. The batter now is Lee Maye. Lee with a two-run homer for the first two runs for the Braves in the third inning. He bats from the left-hand side. He is batting now 207. And the first pitch is inside for ball one. Infield still back, no one out. Runners at first and third. Now the pitch to the plate, a curveball, a check in the swing, but not in time. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. And the pitch is inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Braves with 2 runs in here in the fourth. They had 3 in the third. Lead 5-0. Now Don Rowe back to the plate. And there's a bouncing ball to first. A fair ball. A play now home. And the tag is made on Warren Spahn. A double play. Cliff Cook at first base took that ball right in the bag. And, of course, on that play, Lee Maye was out. He then whirled around and threw home to Norm Sherry. And Warren Spahn, trying to score in the play, was out. So if you're scoring, it went 3-2, a double play, the second in the game for the Mets. They're 52nd of the year. And they now have 2 out. Moving on down the second on the double play, Roy McMillan, and the batter now is Hank Aaron, who is 1 for 2. The first pitch to Aaron is low, ball 1. Hank batting .316. He has 16 home runs and 38 runs batted in. Now roll back high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. On the play at the plate, Spahn got up and limped off the field. He was limping just a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see whether or not anything happened to him that would detain him on the mound. No one throwing in the bullpen for Milwaukee, which would indicate he's okay. Two balls and no strikes, and Aaron trying to check. Did not, and the count is now 2-1. Pitch was out of the strike zone. Aaron had started the swing. He held up, but not in time. So Don Rowe has his first strike against the right-hand batter. Now at 2-1, he gets Aaron to bloop one into shallow center. Coming in strong is Piersall. It might drop in. Going back is Hunt, and he one-hands it. Fine play by Ron Hunt to make the catch. And that retires the side. In the inning, the Milwaukee Braves scored 2 runs on 2 hits. The Mets made 2 errors, and 1 man was left on. And the score at the end of 3.5 innings of play, the Braves 5, the New York Mets nothing. Braves lead 5-0, the final game of this series. After a day off Thursday, the Mets will play the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals only 1.5 games out of first place. And they'll be in for a 4-game series. Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Ladies' Day, and a doubleheader on Sunday. Warren Spahn looking for his 335th Major League victory. He'll be working to Ron Hunt. Ron is 0 for 1. He grounded right back to Spahn his first time up. And the first pitch by Spahn, a teasing slow curve that's low for ball 1. If you watch closely on Spahn, if you see him work, you'll see that he'll work low most of the time and try to get the batters to go for a pitch just out of the strike zone. He makes the batters hit the ball on the ground, and he gives up quite a few hits, but usually never with men on. Here's the pitch back, a fastball outside. 2 balls and no strikes. In this game, he has not given up a fly ball to the outfield. Now he gets a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. The only base hit that Spahn gave up that was hit hard was to Frank Thomas. Here's a swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he has not given up a base hit with a man on base. Warren with a base hit to Frank Thomas as leadoff batter in the second, and the base hit to Jay Hook as the leadoff man in the third. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and there's a foul ball out of play. So the count holds at 2-2 as Ron Hunt leads off here in the 4th. After Hunt, it will be Frank Thomas and Jim Hickman. Spahn back, and it's high outside for ball 3. Ron Hunt with a full count at 3-2. Braves 5-0. They scored 3 runs in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. Now Spahn back to Hunt. And a fastball lined right at Eddie Mathews. He jumps high in the air, 2-hands it for the first out. That will bring up Frank Thomas, who singled to center field his first time up. Frank is starting to get back into his batting ways. He had 1 hit last night, but he's been swinging much better at the plate. His base hit to center field was a line drive. Frank with only 3 home runs at 1/3 of the season. Last year he had 34, so he's way below his normal output. First pitch to Frank is fouled out of play, strike one. Spahn with a high-tight fastball for the first strike. Strike pitch by Spahn. It's a called strike for strike two. Little screwball in the outside corner. As we started to say, Warren Spahn has won 20 games many times. He has a chance again this year, and he has a total of 12 years with 20 or more wins in his major league career. He's tied for 4th place with Walter Johnson in that department. 2-strike pitch is line foul. The other count will stay at 0-2. Warren has pitched a total of 55 shutouts in his major league career, none this year. I stand corrected. He has one this year. He has 56 now. Here's a 2-strike pitch to Thomas. Just outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one down around the knees. Spahn back to work to Thomas, and there's a hard smash at short on through. Thomas rounds at first base and holds. Roy McMillan tried to come up with it on the half hop, but didn't get his glove on it. And it scored a base hit for Frank, his second in this game, the third off Warren Spahn. And with 1 out here in the bottom half of the 4th, the Braves leading 5-0. The batter will be Jim Hickman. Jim walked his first time up. He's batting .235. Hickman with 6 home runs and 25 runs batted in. Right-hand batter, and he looks outside. The pitch a little bit low also. 1 ball, no strike. Jim had his greatest major league day against the Milwaukee Braves in the Sunday doubleheader. In last night's game, won by the Braves 3-2. Jim drove in 1 of the 2 runs. He was 0 for 3. Thomas not being held on. The 1-0 pitch. It's low. Ball 2. Change the speeds by Warren Spahn. Milwaukee Braves very much interested in acquiring Jim Hickman. They've had an outfield problem for quite some time, looking both for a center fielder and a left fielder. Now Spahn at 2-0, and it's a foul ball. Spahn getting his first strike against Hickman. 2 balls and 1 strike. Right field, of course, for Milwaukee, set for years. Hank Aaron there, one of the greatest. Since the Braves traded away Bill Bruton, they've had trouble in center field, and they've always had a tough time in left. Best performance by a left fielder traded in back in 1958. Turned in back in 1958 by Wes Covington. He's now having a fine year since being traded away several times for Philadelphia. There's a swing at a screwball. Strike 2. So Spahn evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Left-hander setting. And the pitch just outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Jim Hickman. Frank Thomas at first base. 1 man out. The score 5-0. The Braves lead. Breaking the scoreless tie after 2 innings. The on-deck batter, Chico Fernandez. Tommie Aaron at first base, not holding Thomas close to the bag. He's playing about 2 steps behind. Now the 3-2 pitch. It's swung on and a miss. So Hickman goes down on strikes. The first strikeout for Warren Spahn in this game, and it brings up Chico Fernandez. 2 men out, Frank Thomas at first. Fernandez was out 1-4 his first time up. He bunted, and Warren Spahn, actually it was a swinging bunt, and Warren Spahn picked it up and had to throw to Denis Menke to get him out. First pitch to the right-hand batter is strike 1. Now Spahn back. It's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Say right now, why not open up or order up a glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. It's beer as beer should taste. Warren Spahn back to the plate low again. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now Spahn back. It's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Say right now, why not open up or order up a glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. It's beer as beer should taste. Warren Spahn back to the plate low again. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mets need 5 to tie. The on-deck batter, Cliff Cook. And Spahn now with a fastball that hits the center field. Lee Maye is there waiting for the ball to come down, and he makes the catch, and that does it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left, and the score at the end of 4 innings of play. The Braves 5, the New York Mets nothing.
Now Eddie Mathews is out to face Don Rowe in the top of the 5th inning. The Braves in front 5-0. The pitch on the way is taken high. 1 ball and no strikes. Mathews 2 for 2, single to right center on the 2nd and double to left field in the 3rd. Eddie hitting at 282. He had 1 hit and 2 times up in last night's game and walked twice. A high infield pop fly. Coming in toward the mound is Charlie Neal. He settles under it, and Charlie takes it 1 down. Nobody on. The batter will be Don Dillard. Dillard, the left fielder, has flied to center and been hit by a pitch ball. Dillard hitting at 268. Now Rowe fires his swung on and missed strike 1. Tommie Aaron, the on-deck batter, and then Bob Uecker. On the way, a fly ball in the air to right field. Jim Hickman just walking to get under this one. Puts it away, and there are 2 down. So 2 up and 2 set aside by southpaw Don Rowe, and the hitter coming on now is Tommie Aaron. Tommie Aaron has fouled out to Norm Sherry and been struck out by Jay Hook. Braves got 3 runs in the 3rd and added 2 runs in the 4th inning. A swing and a miss, strike 1. Both runs crossing the plate in the 4th inning were unearned runs. 1 run scored on an interference call, and the other scored on an error charged on a low throw to Don Rowe. Just off the outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody on. Tommie Aaron batting. A drive down the left field line by Aaron, hooking toward the line. It's in for a base hit. Thomas waiting for the carom, fires the ball to second. Aaron sliding in. He is safe at second base. He slid away from the tag. Ron Hunt thought he had him, and he is really arguing strenuously now with Lee Wire. Hunt had the ball waiting on Tommie Aaron, but Aaron with a beautiful slide apparently was able to get away from the tag by Ron Hunt. And Hunt is really going at it now with umpire Lee Wire, all 6'6", 250 pounds of him. It'll be scored as a double for Tommie Aaron, and it brings up Bob Uecker. That is the 8th hit of the game for the Milwaukee Braves. Bob Uecker has lined out to Piersall in center field, drawn a walk, and scored a run. It was Uecker who came in to score when interference was called on Norm Sherry when Uecker was hung up in a rundown between third and home. Off the stretch, delivers a knee-high strike. Chicago Cubs have won 8 of their last 10 games to drive within 3 of the top of the National League race, and they're leading today 6-2 at the end of 5 over the Giants. Breaking ball inside and low, 1 ball, 1 strike on Bob Uecker. Have a solid catching department with Del Crandall, Joe Torre, and Bob Uecker. One delivery, low and outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. All 3 of the Milwaukee catchers are right-hand hitters. Aaron leads off second. The pitch to Uecker. He lets it go. It just misses. 2 balls and a strike. Check the count. 3-1. Denis Menke, batting number 8 in the Braves batting order, is the on-deck hitter. 3-1 pitch by Rowe. Ball 4. It's inside and low. He walks Uecker. And while we're waiting for Denis Menke, let's pause for station identification.
WGY 810 on the radio dial, Schenectady. The correct time is 27.5 minutes before 4.
Menke has been up twice, lined hard to Hickman in right field, who made a good play back near the fence, and singled to right center field. 2 outs and 2 on. The pitch by Rowe. Ball 1, it's high. No game tomorrow. The Cardinals then Friday night, a Ladies' Day game on Saturday, and a doubleheader Sunday. Cincinnati will be in the Polo Grounds Monday night and Tuesday afternoon. Rowe missing outside with a fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. Warren Spahn will be hitting next. Jay Hook worked the first 3 innings. Jay gave up 4 runs, 5 hits, walked 2, and fanned 2. Don Rowe working his second inning in relief. Now the pitch on the way. A high fly ball that is going, gone. Into the upper deck, a 3-run homer by Denis Menke. Menke belting his 5th home run of the year, a 3-run homer, and the Braves now lead 8-0. Second home run in the game by Milwaukee. Earlier in the game, Lee Maye hit a 2-run homer in the upper deck in right field. Now Warren Spahn is up with 2 outs and nobody on. Ball 1, it's low. Don Rowe retired Eddie Mathews and Don Dillard, the first 2 men up here in the 5th inning. Tommie Aaron doubled. Uecker drew a walk, and now Denis Menke has hit a 3-run homer. Braves lead 8-0. Low, ball 2. It's 2-0. slow. Galen Cisco warming up in the bullpen for New York. Spahn has doubled to right. It reached on a force play, 1 hit and 2 trips. Inside, it's ball 4. And Don Rowe walked Warren Spahn on 4 pitches. Now Spahn goes down to first base, and the hitter is Roy McMillan. McMillan has drawn a walk, reached on a force play, and bunted for a base hit. Veteran right-hand batter. They play him astride toward left in the infield. A smash down to third, taken on a hop by Charlie Neal. He plays across to Ron Hunt, who's thumped on the bag, and the side is out. In the 5th inning, 3 runs. There were 2 hits. No errors, 1 left on. So we've come halfway at the end of 4.5 innings. The Braves lead. The Braves 8 and the New York Mets nothing. Well, going through the rule books the other day, we dug up a Rheingold riddle for the baseball fans. Now, you may know that when a base runner is hit by a batted ball, the batter automatically gets credit for a base hit and the runner is automatically out. But who gets credit for the putout? Well, think about that one. Well, if you know your baseball, and I'm sure you do, you may have known that the fielder nearest the runner gets credit for the putout. And if you know your beer, and I know you do, you'll surely know this. 2 little words, extra dry, tell you why Rheingold has a taste no other beer can match. They tell you that Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costlier way for a taste that's brisk and bright and clean clear through. So why not find that out for yourself? Enjoy a cool, refreshing glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. Continues to work in the bullpen. The Mets will have the tail end of their batting order coming up against Spahn in the last half of the 5th inning. Now Spahn into his windup. Down comes his pitch. Hits the ground ball to short. It comes up on a big hop for McMillan. He pegs to Tommie Aaron, 1 man down. Fifth inning, the first pitch is thrown out. 1 away and nobody on. Well, when you have a great pitcher in a ball game like Warren Spahn, it naturally gives an entire ball club quite a lift. The Braves have had a lot of trouble in scoring runs this year, much in the manner of the New York Mets. But on the days that Warren Spahn has been on the mound, although he's had a couple of tough, low-scoring ball games, his teammates have scored runs for him. Norm Sherry takes ball 1. Spahn won his first game this year 6-1. His second game 8-0. He won a 4-3 game, a 3-1 game. 4-3. He won 8-2 and 7-4. A high pop-up down the third baseline. Mathews in foul ground on the warning track watching it, and he has it for the out. Sammy Taylor is coming out, and he'll be batting for Don Rowe. Sammy has really been working hard since rejoining the Mets to try and trim himself down. Due to the sore arm, Sammy has been used exclusively as a pinch hitter, and it's tough to control your weight in baseball when you're not playing every day. He has run long and hard with the rubber suit and has trimmed down a great deal since coming to New York. Ground ball bounced hard. That'll be a base hit going up the middle for Sammy Taylor. Sammy Taylor is on with a single to center. Now to the top of the batting order for Jimmy Piersall. That's base hit number 4 given up by Warren Spahn. Given up 4 hits. pitch by the veteran left-hander. A line drive to left center. A clean base hit by Piersall. It gets by Lee Maye and rolls back toward the bleacher wall. On his way to third and rounding third is Sammy Taylor. He'll be coming in to score, and Piersall stops at second. Jimmy Piersall, an error charge to center fielder Lee Maye. He let the ball get by him, and then the left fielder, Don Dillard, had to pursue the ball back by the bleachers in left center field. So the run scores, no RBI on the error charge to Lee Maye. A clean single to left center for Jimmy Piersall, and he goes to second on the error. Charlie Neal is up, and the pitch by Spahn is in the third. 1 ball and no strikes. 8-1 now. Milwaukee in front. Mets hitting last half of inning number 5. Now Spahn up in pitching position. Delivers to Neal outside and high. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Piersall on second, 2 men away in the last half of the 5th inning. A ground smash to shortstop. Roy McMillan is up with it. The peg across to Tommie Aaron erases Neal for the third out to retire the side. In the 5th, a 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left on. Now 5 innings complete, and the score, the Braves 8 and the New York Mets 1. What's your idea of a perfect day? Well, maybe it's sailing on Long Island Sound or one of the many rivers and lakes we have in the area. Or maybe it's getting the family together for a picnic. There are some outstanding places to go that are nearby. But whatever your idea of a perfect day is, I've got a little tip for you. Any great day can be made even more wonderful when you remember to have Rheingold on hand. Rheingold Extra Dry. Now here's beer that, well, it's beer as beer should taste. Brisk and bright and clean clear through. Now these 2 words, extra dry, tell you why. Yes, sir, they tell you why Rheingold has a flavor that, well, you just don't find in other beers. Why Rheingold Extra Dry even looks more refreshing. But of course, the real test is in the taste. Now that's where Rheingold Extra Dry is at its best. Like I said, Rheingold Extra Dry is beer as beer should taste. So make your days a bit more wonderful. Enjoy Rheingold Extra Dry. Battery in the game for New York. Galen Cisco takes over the pitching, and Sammy Taylor has gone behind the plate. Rod Keneal comes in the game, and Rod will be playing second base. So right now, Casey is with umpire Ed Fargo, instructing Fargo as to how the new players will bat in the New York Mets batting order. Sammy Taylor will be hitting ninth because he hit for Don Rowan, stays in the game. The other 2 men can be placed at Casey's discretion. Ron Hunt and Norm Sherry now out of the game. So 3 new faces in for the Mets. Galen Cisco pitching, Sammy Taylor catching, and Rod Keneal playing second. Off against Galen Cisco as the game moves into the 6th inning. Now Galen into his windup. Down comes his pitch. A smash hit hard, taken on a hop by Cliff Cook. The race to the bag. He's there in time. 1 away. Low line drive hit right down toward Cliff Cook. He snagged it on the first hop right in front of his face. One away on Henry Aaron coming on to hit. Aaron has 1 for 3, a single to right center in the third, and later came in to score on a base hit by Eddie Mathews. Aaron set himself up in scoring position when he swiped second. Strike called on the outside corner. Now Galen has his sign, winds and pitches. The curve hit high in the air to deep center. Back goes Piersall, way back. It's over his head, off the bleacher wall on the first hop. Aaron around second is on his way to third. Relay by Fernandez, not in time. A triple and a booming triple for Henry Aaron. That ball on the very first bounce was up on the left center field bleacher fence. Long three-base hit by Hank Aaron. Piersall, after a long run, found the ball just beyond his reach. Now Eddie Mathews hitting. Mathews has singled and doubled in 3 trips. Curve down in the dirt. 1 ball and no strike. Braves lead 8-1. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. Galen Cisco checking with Sammy Taylor. This is outside. Ball 2, 2-0. Here's the pitch on the way. A breaking ball that swung and missed. 2-1. The infield drawn in on the left side. Pitch on the way. A ground ball. Base hit going through the hole into right field. Eddie Mathews' 3rd hit of the game, and the Braves now lead 9-1 as Aaron crosses the plate. So Eddie Mathews has 3 for 4 and has driven 2 runs in. Denis Menke has driven in 3 on a 3-run homer. Eddie Mathews 2 and Lee Maye 2 on a 2-run homer. 1 scored on an interference call and the other on an error charge to Don Rowe. Now Ken McKenzie starts to loosen up for New York as Galen Cisco encounters difficulty here in the 6th inning. Now the hitter is Don Dillard, left-hand batter. Pitch taken, 1 ball and no strike. Pitch by Cisco, a ground ball hit down to third, glove handed by Neal. He throws to second for the 4th play on Eddie Mathews. Don Dillard reaching on the 4th play. 2 outs now, a runner on first, and Tommie Aaron coming up. He doubled his last time at bat, has 1 hit and 3 trips. Now Galen checks the runner and delivers to Tommie Aaron. It's bounced foul off the plate back toward the Milwaukee dugout. Braves 9 runs, 11 hits and 1 error. New York 1 run, 5 hits and 2 errors. Pitch thrown by Cisco, a swing and a miss on a slider, strike 2. Braves now with 9 runs in the game have scored more runs in this game for Spahn than any previous game. On 2 other occasions in victories hosted by Spahn this year, they scored 8 runs for him. Ground ball smacked to shortstop. Fernandez up with it. Pegs to Rod Keneal, and they force Don Dillard to retire the side. In the 6th inning, 1 run, 2 hits. No errors, 1 left on. And now at the end of 5.5 innings to score, the Braves 9 and the New York Mets 1. My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Yes, sir, that's the song that stops on the hit parade in New York again this year. Seems like it always is. Just like Rheingold is always New York's favorite beer year after year after year. Why? Because people like a dry beer best. Dry beer is more naturally refreshing. And Rheingold is the extra dry beer. Extra dry for the extra refreshment. The bright, clean taste that people want in a glass of beer, and they get every time they order Rheingold. So why don't you give Rheingold a try? Order up or pour yourself a refreshing glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. Now, chances are you'll join the millions of people who sing out for Rheingold and say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. It's beer as beer should taste. Keneal up against Warren Spahn. A foul ball back to the screen. Strike 1. Now Spahn goes over the head. Around comes the arm. A drive hit hard toward left field for a base hit by Rod Keneal. Dillard runs the ball down on the warning track, puts it back in, and Rod is on with a long single. Base hit number 6 for New York, and it brings up Frank Thomas. The runner then delivers a smash up the middle for a base hit by Thomas. Rod Keneal turns second. He'll hold there. And Thomas now is 3 for 3. Might be a bright ray of sunshine in an otherwise disappointing ball game for New York to have Frank Thomas breaking out with base hits. Well, the city of Chicago should certainly be excited. The Chicago Cubs, with a third of the season gone, only 3 games out of first place. Against the Giants this afternoon, they now have hit 5 home runs. They are now leading the Giants 9-2 as they bat in the last half of the 7th. Jim Hickman, a foul tip, strike 1. For Chicago, today at Wrigley Field, Ernie Banks has now hit 2 home runs. Kenny Hubbs, Lou Brock, and Billy Williams have each hit 1. In the first inning, Willie Mays hit a 2-run homer. Willie's 11th. But the Cubs now lead 9-1 as they hit in the last half of the 7th. Ground ball hit sharply to shortstop. McMillan to second for 1. On to first. A double play. Moving over to third goes Rod Keneal as the Braves turn the double play, their third of the game. Two outs now with a runner on third. That brings up Chico Fernandez. Jack Fisher, with the Giants started today at Wrigley Field, knocked out of the box, and Gaylord Perry took over in the 5th inning. Low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. St. Louis Cardinals will play a night game at Connie Mack Stadium in Philadelphia. Tries to punt. It goes foul. He was bunting, looking for a base hit and also trying to drive a run in. Right now, the Cardinals a game and a half out of first place. The way things are going today, they might be much closer than that when they come in to open their 4-game weekend series here against the New York Mets. 1-1 delivery, outside and low. Giants and Cubs are playing 2. If the Cubs swept the doubleheader and the Cardinals beat the Phillies tonight, they'd be in a tie with the Giants for first place. Now the 2-1 pitch. Outside and low to Chico Fernandez, 3-1. Right here, it's the Braves 9 and the Mets 1. We're in the last half of the 6th inning. Outside, ball 4. Third walk given up by Warren Spahn. Now coming on to hit will be Cliff Cook. Cliff has drawn a walk. It was an intentional pass and grounded out short to first. Dick Ellsworth, after giving up that 2-run homer to Willie Mays in the first, has now hurled 6 consecutive scoreless innings. Foul pop-up over toward the crowd. Running for it, Tommie Aaron, but he has no play. That's in the seats out of reach. Chico Neal on third. Now Spahn up in pitching position. Delivers a swing and a miss. A 2-strike count on Cliff Cook. Sammy Taylor out of the circle, but Galen Cisco is scheduled to hit next. Galen has the number 8 spot in the order, and Sammy Taylor the number 9. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cook. Now the pitch on the way. It's outside, 2-2. And third, Keneal is on third, and Fernandez on first. Now the 2-2 pitch. Ball 3, Cliff lays off, and now the count is full, 3-2. Braves 9 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. New York 1 run, 7 hits, and 2 errors. Will be on his way. There he goes. The pitch, ground ball hit down to third. It's a fair ball, booted by Eddie Mathews. It goes into foul ground. Keneal scores. Fernandez is on his way to third and goes into third, standing up. It'll be an error charged to Eddie Mathews. Had he fielded the ball clean, he was deep behind third and straddling the line. He would have had to make quite a throw in order to throw out Cliff Cook. It goes as an error, and it's now a 9-2 ball game. Now Galen Cisco is scheduled up, and let's see who comes on to hit. It'll be Duke Snyder. Coming out with runners on first and third, 2 down. He'll hit for Galen Cisco. It's over, a call strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ron Boucher is warming up in the Milwaukee bullpen. Ken McKenzie warming up for New York. And he'll be out to pitch when the game goes into the 7th inning. Strike on Snyder. Fastball a little under the knees. A ball 2-1. Well, you know, baseball and Rheingold make a great team, so pour yourself a tall, cold glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. Pitch by Spahn. Low is ball 3, and now Spahn is a pitch away from loading them up for Sammy Taylor. Braves lead 9-2, and New York hitting in the last half of the 6th inning. The corners, 2 men down. Pitching 3-1. Too high and the bases are loaded. Well, Bobby Bragan is on his way to the mound now with the bases loaded, 2 men down. Sammy Taylor coming on to hit. Spahn over 5 innings gave up only 1 run. It was unearned and allowed 5 hits. Mets have a run home here in the 6th inning. Bases loaded, 2 men down. While Bobby Bragan is on the mound conferring with Warren Spahn, we'll pause for station identification.
810 on the radio dial, WGY, Schenectady, New York. The time is 1 minute after 4.
Bobby Bragan, after chatting for a moment with Warren Spahn, goes back toward the dugout. Sammy Taylor hit for Don Rowe in the 5th inning and singled to center field. Bases loaded. 2 men away. Spahn out of his windup, pitches. Ball 1. The breaking pitch missing outside. To go for a big inning to get back in this ball game. Next pitch by Spahn, a line drive base hit to right field by Sammy Taylor. 1 run is in. Racing toward the plate and in to score. Then Swift took for the 2nd run. It's 9-4. Sammy Taylor with a hard line drive to right field. It brings home Chico Fernandez and Cliff Cook. 3 runs are in. It's now 9-4, and Bobby Bragan goes back toward the mound, and we'll have a new pitcher coming in the game for Milwaukee. Duke Snyder racing around to third on Taylor's 2nd hit. Sammy now has been up twice and singled twice. He really hit the last one, a hard line drive into right field. So Warren Spahn is leaving the game after pitching 5 2/3 innings. At the moment, he has given up 4 runs. A total of 8 hits. He walked 4, and he struck out 1. Right-hander Ron Boucher is coming on now to pitch for the Milwaukee Braves. He relieved in the game last night. However, he faced only 1 man. That was Duke Snyder. He walked him, and after he walked Snyder, Boucher was taken out, and Bob Shaw was brought in. Shaw then retired. Tim Harkness and got Sammy Taylor to hit into a double play to win the ball game. Ron Boucher has won none and lost 1. Now here's the hand for Spahn as he leaves the game. 17-inning game in Milwaukee on Sunday, won by the Colt 45, 3-1. He pitched 2 innings in the game. This will be the 4th time this year that the New York Mets have been up against Ron Pache. They hit Pache hard in a game in the Polo Grounds, in which they came from behind to win 8-5. This will be the 14th appearance for Ron Pache, Canadian-born right-hander. And Jimmy Piersall will be the first hitter up against Pache. Piersall singled to left center field with a line drive his last at-bat. Has 1 hit and 3 trips. 9 runs, 11 hits and 2 errors, Milwaukee. 4 runs, 8 hits and 2 errors for New York. Crowd today, 5,141. The New York Mets have now gone over the 400,000 mark in home attendance. Today's game, their 54th of the year, so the Mets have played a third of their season. Midget Mets are here today as guests of the ball club. And actually a total crowd in the ballpark of almost 14,000. Runners on first and third, 2 down. The hitter is Jimmy Piersall. The pitch by Pache. Outside, it's ball 1. Braves 9 and the Mets 4, last half of the 6th inning. Makes the stop. The pitch to Piersall. Ball 2 outside, 2-0. On the way. A looping drive to short left field. It's a base hit. Snyder comes in to score. It's 9-5. Jimmy Piersall getting his second hit in a row. A single to short left. Driving home Duke Snyder. Now, New York trailing by 4. Runners on first and second, 2 down. Here's Charlie Neal. The Mets have batted around. Neal is the 9th man up in the inning. Run charged to starter Warren Spahn. Charlie 0 for 3. Mets fighting back into this game. They have 4 runs home in the last half of the 6th inning. Next pitch by Pache is a breaking ball for a strike to Charlie Neal. Now the sign has gone to the Milwaukee bullpen for the relief ace to get ready, and that's right-hander Claude Raymond. Raymond has appeared in 22 of 51 ball games played by Milwaukee. At that rate, he'll be in about 70 games this year. In the dirt, a wild pitch. The runners are going into scoring position. Sammy Taylor moves to third, and Jimmy Piersall to second. Pitch was low and outside and went all the way to the backstop. Wild pitch charged to Ron Pache. Scoring position now, and if the Mets could pick these 2 up, they'd be right back in this ball game. Mets have 4 runs in. They trail 9-5. Charlie Neal, the 9th man to bat in the inning. Now Pache winds. Here's his pitch. Fastball missing. Charlie had to bail out of there, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Taylor on third and Jimmy Piersall on second. Raymond has appeared in 22 of 51 ball games played by Milwaukee. At that rate, he'll be in about 70 games this year. In the third, a wild pitch. The runners are going into scoring position. Sammy Taylor moves to third and Jimmy Piersall to second. Pitch was low and outside and went all the way to the backstop. Wild pitch charge to Ron Pache. Two in scoring position now, and if the Mets could pick these two up, they'd be right back in this ball game. Mets have 4 runs in. They trail 9-5. Charlie Neal, the 9th man to bat of the inning. Now Pache winds. Here's his pitch. Fastball missing. Charlie had to bail out of there on the count. 2 balls and a strike. Sammy Taylor on third and Jimmy Piersall on second. Pitching 2-1. A swing and a miss on a curve in the count even now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Neal started this thing off with a base hit to left field. Rod waiting in the on-deck circle, hoping he can hit a second time in the inning. Count 2-2 as Pache takes his sign from Uecker. Now the pitch. Ball 3. Charlie started to go and held up just at that last instant. Now it's a full count, 3-2. New York, 4 runs in. Now the payoff pitch to Neal. Swing and a miss. Foul tip. Foul tip. He stays alive. Just barely got a piece of it, and it slithered away from receiver Bob Uecker. Charlie Neal just getting a piece of it to stay alive, and he has another chance coming. Started hitting here in the last half of the 6th inning. Here's the windup, the 3-2 pitch. A foul ball wafted back to the crowd, no play. And Neal goes again on 3-2. Sammy Taylor on third. He singled to right, driving 2 runs in. And Jimmy Piersall on second. He singled to left, driving a run in. Much alive now. Pache winding, the 3-2 pitch. Fouled again out of play. 3 in a row fouled off by Charlie Neal. Neal 0 for 3, has grounded out third to first and twice grounded out to Roy McMillan. Claude Raymond warming up seriously in the Milwaukee bullpen. Pache wants another ball to work with. It's 3-2 on Charlie Neal. Henry Aaron over toward right center against Neal. Now the pitch on the way. A drive hit hard down the left field line, a base hit. Taylor is in to score. Here's Piersall scoring. Neal's on his way to second, a stand-up double. Ron Pache 3 times fouled off the 3-2 pitch. then hit a steering line drive down the left field line, a two-base hit, driving home Sammy Taylor and Jimmy Piersall. Now Bragan is on the mound, and Claude Raymond is being brought in. The New York Mets have put together their biggest inning of the season. They have batted around. They have scored 6 runs. The Braves now will have their third pitcher working in the inning. It'll be their relief ace right-hander, Claude Raymond. Ron Pache came in to face Jimmy Piersall. Jimmy singled to left, driving in a run, and Neal has doubled to drive 2 runs in. High of the year for the New York Mets in runs scored in 1 inning, and they have fought back in this game. They now have the tying run coming to bat in the person of Rod Kneale as Claude Raymond comes in to take over the pitching. So Ron Pache faced only 2 men. He is charged with 1 hit and 1 run and 2 hits. 6 of the 7 runs are charged to starter Warren Spahn. Pache failed to retire a man. And Raymond now takes over the pitching. Claude Raymond relieved in the game last night. This will be his 23rd relief appearance in 53 Milwaukee games. At the rate Raymond has been working as the short man in that Milwaukee bullpen, he'll be in between 65 and 70 ball games this year. Raymond was the winning pitcher in the game last night. Runs were scored for him after he was pinch hit for. Then Pache and Shaw protected the lead in the 9th inning, and Raymond was rewarded with his 4th win against 3 losses. He worked only 1 inning. He allowed no runs, gave up 1 hit. So this will be the 5th time this season that the New York Mets have batted against Claude Raymond. Last year he was 2-2 at Toronto and 5-5 with the Braves. He established himself as the top relief pitcher of the Milwaukee Braves. The Mets now have 6 runs in on 5 hits, aided by 2 walks and an error. And here we go. Rod Kneale, who started this thing off with a base hit, is up for the 2nd time in the inning. Charlie Neal leading off second. He doubled 2 runs in. The pitch by Raymond, a foul ball, back upstairs and out of play. This was a 9-1 ball game when the Mets came in to hit in the last half of the 6th inning. But New York, 6 runs across the plate. It now is 9-7. Braves 9 runs, 11 hits and 2 errors. New York 7 runs, 10 hits and 2 errors. Now the stretch by right-hander Claude Raymond. Here's the pitch on the way. Low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Rod Kneale. Base hits by New York here in the 6th inning have been solid base hits. One ball, 1 strike on Hot Rod. He cocks the bat. Here's the pitch by Raymond. A pop foul. Coming back for it, the catcher, Bob Uecker. He has a play on it. He's under it. Drops the ball. He drops the ball, and the Mets get a life. It'll be an error charged on Bob Uecker. He was camped under that one, just waiting for that little white pearl to nestle into that big mitt, and lo and behold, it popped out. And the Mets gain a life. 2nd error of the inning charged to Milwaukee. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Rod Kneale. Now Raymond, up in pitching position, takes the runner. Here's the pitch to Kneale. A check swing and a drive toward right field. It may be in. It is a base hit. Rounding third and coming in to score is Charlie Neal. It's 9-8. Base hit to right by Rod Neal. Rod was looked like he was trying to hold up on the swing, but he hit the ball hard because it hit the barrel of the bat, a line drive into right for a clean base hit. Mets now have 7 runs in on 6 hits. It now is 9-8. The tying run is on base. The batter is Frank Thomas. Frank has 3 for 3 in the game. Now Raymond off the stretch. Here's his pitch. A line drive. It may go foul. It is a foul ball by about a yard off the base of the wall in left field. One of the hardest hit shots of the entire game. A wicked line drive, but you can see it hooking toward that foul line. And it slammed against the base of the left field wall, foul by a yard. Braves 9 and the Mets 8. It was 9-1 when the Mets came in to hit in the last of the 6th inning. Thomas is the 11th man up in the inning. He singled his other time up here in the 6th inning. Now the stretch by Raymond. Here's the pitch on the way. Way inside, brushing him back from the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tony Cloninger, a right-hander, heating up now for the Milwaukee Braves. 9 runs, 11 hits, Milwaukee. New York, 8 runs, 11 hits. Tying run, Rod Neal on first base. The runs have been streaming in with 2 men down. Here's the pitch on the way. A line drive caught by Eddie Mathews to retire the side. Thomas really hung out a hard line drive. Face high right at Eddie Mathews. And the Mets get a big hand as they go to the playing field. In a big 6th inning, the single biggest inning of the year for New York, 7 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, and 1 left on. Rod Raymond gets credit for 1/3 of the inning. Warren Spahn got credit for 2/3 of the inning. And now 6 innings complete. The score, the Milwaukee Braves 9 and the New York Mets 8. Now we'll catch our breath while Lindsey Nelson tells you about the rescheduling of the Mayor's Trophy game at Yankee Stadium. Here's Lindsey.
All right, Bob Murphy, and we have changes being made here by the New York Mets as Duke Snider is staying in the game in center field in place of Piersall, and Ken McKenzie is coming in to pitch. Manager Casey Stengel getting things checked out there with umpire Ed Fargo. Meanwhile, we'd like to tell you about the Mayor's Trophy game that will be played now on the night of June 20th at Yankee Stadium across the Harlem River from here at the Polo Grounds. As you know, the Mets and Yanks were rained out on Monday night of this week, so it will be played on the night of June 20th, and tickets that were purchased will be honored on that night. Mayor's Trophy game Thursday night, June 20th, 8 p.m. at Yankee Stadium. You haven't managed to get your copy of the revised Met yearbook yet. They are now available with additional biographical and statistical data. That is, in addition to that which was included in the first edition. There are over 100 pictures inside, articles and stories about Casey Stengel and the coaches in Shea Stadium and the city around the scoreboard. To obtain your copy of the revised 1963 Met Yearbook, send 50 cents to Met Yearbook, Polo Grounds, New York, 39, New York. We have a report now from the Mets clubhouse that Jim Piersall sprained his right ankle slightly in chasing the triple hit by Henry Aaron. So Duke Snider is in center field now. And Ken McKenzie is the pitcher. In the top of the 7th, Catcher Bob Uecker is up. He's a right-hand batter. McKenzie's pitch is low for ball one. McKenzie is the fourth Met pitcher of the day.
Jimmy Piersall sustained a slight sprain of his right ankle on Aaron Sissel. He put the
Pitch is in there for a call strike.
It is not particularly serious.
Again, McKenzie into the windup, and the pitch is high for a ball. It's 2-1. If you're keeping a scorecard, Snyder, of course, bats number 8 in the batting order, and Ken McKenzie bats number 1 in Piersall's spot in the batting order. There's a pitch swung on and foul back and out of play. 1-2 to Bob Uecker. Ken McKenzie making his 17th game appearance this season. All in relief. He has a record of 3 victories and 1 loss. Pitching here against his former teammates, the Milwaukee Braves. 1-2 pitch, low for a ball. It's 2-2. McKenzie hoping for a call on that one. Didn't get it, and it's 2-2. New York Mets having battled back. They were completely out of this ball game, but they're right back in it now as the Braves lead by a scant 1 run, 9-8. Larry Bernard is up and throwing now in the Met bullpen. Swinging a foul ball, the count holds full at 3-2 to Bob Uecker. Mets right now have an infield of Cliff Cook at first base, Rod Keneal at second base, Chico Fernandez at short, and Charlie Neal at third. Frank Thomas is in left, Duke Snyder is in center, Jim Hickman in right. The payoff pitch swung on. It's a 1-hopper to Fernandez at short. He has it placed to first in time. 1 away. Uecker has grounded out from Fernandez to Cook. That brings up second baseman Denis Menke. Frank Bowling is out of action with a broken finger these days for the Milwaukee Braves. And he has 2 hits today. He had a 2-run homer in the top of the 5th. Kenzie's pitch to the right-hand batter, swung on, full foul on the ground, out of play. Joe White comes off the coaching line to third. Throws it out of play. Strike 1 is the count to Denis Menke, who bats number 8 in Bobby Bragan's batting order. The Braves 9, the Mets 8. Kenzie again starts the motion, and the pitch is low for a ball. It's 1-1. Jay Hook started the game today for the Mets. Pitched 3 innings and faced 1 man in the 4th. Then came Don Rowe, Galen Cisco, and now Ken McKenzie. That pitch is outside. 2-1. Sammy Taylor doing the catching right now for the Mets. Temperature here at the Polo Grounds at game time today was 78 degrees. A beautiful baseball afternoon. Here is a swing and a miss. It's 2-2. The Braves scored first today when they got 3 runs in the top half of the 3rd and added 2 more in the top of the 4th. 3 more in the top of the 5th, so that they led by a score of 8-0 at one point. Here's a pitch low for a ball. Runs the count out full at 3-2. McKenzie went 3-2 on Uecker. Now he's gone 3-2 on Menke. Fernandez pulled 1 step over toward the hole on the right-hand batter, and here comes the payoff pitch. He walked him, missed outside. That is the first walk issued by McKenzie. Gives the Braves a base runner. Pitcher Claude Raymond is coming up. Striding out of the dugout. He has been up only 3 times this year. Has 2 hits, so his batting average is .667. How about that? The fellow's been in 23 games, and coming up now for only his 4th time this season. Ken McKenzie looks in to get his side from Sammy Taylor. Has it. Leading off the bag at first is Menke. The pitch, Raymond squares, and he is hit for the pitch ball. Pitch is in there high and tight, and Raymond, instead of pulling out of the way, was hit for the pitch ball. That'll move Menke to second. Doc Ferrin comes out of the dugout to check on Claude Raymond. Apparently he is all right. So he goes down to first base. Well, the book says that when you suspect that the man is going to bunt, fire it high and tight, and that's what McKenzie did, but Raymond failed to get out of the way. Gives the Braves runners at first and second, and will bring up the leadoff man in the batting order, Roy McMillan. He is 1 for 3 and a walk today. One man out here. Braves 9, the Mets 8. Kenzie checks. Runners lead first and second. Pitch to the right-hand batter's in there for a called strike 1. The Mets defense plays McMillan straight away. Then McKenzie checks. Pitch is swung on and belted deep to left. Thomas going back. He has it lined up. The glasses down, and he makes the catch. No advance as runners return. Menke was halfway on the fly ball to left. 2 men out. That will bring up Lee Maye. Mike Thomas moved way back before he ever flipped the glasses down that time. And starting just about this time of day is when it starts to get tough out there in left field with the sun up there just over the edge of the grandstand. Lee Maye had a 2-run homer in the top of the 3rd to open up the scoring in this ball game. He's had only 2 home runs this year, both of them off the New York Mets. That pitch is fired in there for a called strike. Lee Maye doesn't think so. He turns and walks around, driving a little circle there, and reaches down for a handful of dirt. Now he is back in. Ken McKenzie is set. Runners lead first and second. Pitch is fired high for ball. It's 1-1. The first game that Ken McKenzie ever won in the major leagues was over the Milwaukee Braves on behalf of the New York Mets last year. McKenzie had a winning record for the Mets last year. It won 5 and lost 4 during the course of the regular season. 1-1 pitch swung on, and there's a high fly ball going into left field, and Frank Thomas is there. He is called, and he makes the catch for the out. So in the top of the 7th, the Milwaukee Braves got no runs on no hits. There were no errors and 2 men left. So at the end of 6 1/2 innings of play, Milwaukee Braves 9 and the New York Mets 8. And now a word from Cool Cigarettes.
Smoking hot. You say you're smoking dry. You've lost your taste for cigarettes. Well, here's the reason why. Your cigarette's not tasting cool enough unless you're smoking cool. You're not smoking cool enough till you come up to cool. Cool's menthol magic lightens taste, refreshing all day through. Feel extra coolness in your throat. That cool comes through for you. You're not smoking cool enough till you come up to cool. Enjoy the extra coolness you feel in your throat when you smoke Cool. Extra coolness no other cigarette can give you. Enjoy that bright, clear taste all day long. Come all the way up to Cool. Smoke Cool with the pure white filter, or Cool without filter.
Mac Jones is coming to play center field now in place of Lee Maye for the Milwaukee Braves. And before we go to the top of the 8th, or rather to the bottom of the 7th. We pause now for station identification.
Clubhouse Journal with Howard Cosell follows baseball over WABC AM. 810 on your dial, WGY is Schenectady, bringing you all the Mets action home and away.
The Mets will be sending up Jim Hickman to lead off in the bottom of the 7th. Claude Raymond is on the mound for the Milwaukee Braves. The Mets trail by 1 run, having rallied in the bottom of the 6th for their biggest inning of this season when they scored 7 runs on 6 hits, aided by 2 Milwaukee errors. So now they will see if they can continue the rally or get another one started. Jim Hickman this afternoon walked, struck out swinging, and grounded into a double play. Claude Raymond looking in to get his sign from Bob Uecker. The crowd starting a cry of "Let's go Mets." Let up curveball is low for ball 1. Jim Hickman, you'll recall, was the batting hero of the Mets' 4-game sweep of the Milwaukee Braves here earlier this season. Raymond with the pitch, swung on it. The ground ball runs through the hole into left field for a base hit. Don Dillard comes in, scoops it up, plays it on to second, turning and holding it first is Jim Hickman with a single to left. So the Mets get a base runner right away here in the bottom half of the 7th, and that brings up Chico Fernandez, and that CIKC single plays it. The Mets trail by only 1 run, and we're in the bottom half of the 7th. Fernandez looking down to Cook Chilavagetta, the coach at third, to get straightened out on the sign. In the meanwhile, Claude Raymond and first baseman Tommie Aaron are getting checked out on how they're going to play a possible bunt. Larry Bernard up and throwing in the bullpen of the New York Mets, just in case they can keep this rally going. Ken McKenzie, the pitcher, you'll recall, bats number 1 in the batting order. Fernandez up here right now, batting number 6. Tony Cloninger is up and throwing in the bullpen for the Milwaukee Braves. He's a right-hander. And the pot's boiling at the Polo ground. Fernandez is in and waiting. Claude Raymond looking in to get a sign from Bob Uecker. Wants him to start the series all over again. So, Uecker starts the series, and now Raymond gets his pitch. He's up and set, and here is the pitch. It is low for a ball as Fernandez ran the hand down the bat as though to bunt. He does not square, actually, when he bunts. Fernandez leaves his feet in the same position and simply runs the hand down the bat to bunt it. And he was squared as much as he ever squares, but didn't offer, and it's ball 1. Hickman leads off the bag at first. Of course, Tommie Aaron is defending against the possibility of the bunt. Mathews is in on the edge of the grass at third. Here's the pitch. It's in there for a called strike. Again, Fernandez sort of dropped the hand a little bit, but didn't offer to bunt the ball. 1-1 to count. Mathews staying in on the edge of the grass at third base for the Milwaukee Braves. Jim Hickman takes his lead at first. Aaron holding against the runner for the moment. He's in charge on the pitch. Here is the pitch. Swung on and landed to left field for a base hit. Hickman's on his way to third. It is off the wall, and Dillard's up with it. And on the way to second is Fernandez to throw in. Not in time. Runners at second and third on the double by Fernandez. A clean shot lined into left field. Had sent Hickman to third, and it's going to be a pinch hitter coming to the on-deck circle. Of course, Cliff Cook is coming up, and now he is being called back, and it's going to be Tim Harkness. Cook already had arrived at the home plate area. He is being called back, and the Mets are going to go to Tim Harkness as a pinch hitter. The left-hand batter. Harkness is batting .234. He has 2 doubles. 1 triple, 4 home runs, 16 runs batted in, and I can think of a couple of such blows that Harkness has delivered this year to two-run single against the San Francisco Giants in the Mets' 4-0 victory over the Giants. Two-run single against the Philadelphia Phillies. The series swept by the Mets here, so Harkness is up there in a clutch situation once again. The Milwaukee Braves bring the infield in because Hickman at third represents tying run. The Braves lead by a score of 9-8. Nobody out. Wind up in the pitch, swung on and foul, back onto the screen and out of play. Tim Harkness from Lachine, Quebec, suburb of Montreal. And the Lachine Junior Hockey Club, of which he was once a member, is going to have quite a delegation down here on the 22nd and 23rd of June to see the Mets play the Phils and to honor Tim Harkness as well by their attendance here. Here's the pitch to the left-hand batter, and it's tight. Fired in there tight for ball one. It's 1-1. Hickman, the base runner, at third base, and Fernandez, the base runner, at second. Braves still with the infield in. Duke Snider on deck for the New York Mets. With a wind-up and pitch. Swung on, foul back, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Harkness. Harkness standing outside the batter's box. The Chicago Cubs have defeated the San Francisco Giants by a score of 9-5. Ellsworth the winner with help from Elston in the 8th and Fisher the loser. Right now, Harkness is back in, swinging the bat and waiting. Hickman leads at third. Fernandez leads at second. Here's the windup, the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, it's a ground ball, and past Bichet, taken by McMillan, and they have a runner hung up as both runners are at third, and Hickman is on the bag. Fernandez is coming off the bag. And on at first is Tim Harkness. Here was the play. It was a ground ball that Raymond tried to reach, couldn't, and then shortstop Roy McMillan did field. And the play goes 1-6, since the ball was deflected slightly by Raymond. Fernandez was running and Hickman was not. So Hickman simply stayed at third. Fernandez went on to third and was tagged, and he is out. So there is one away. Runners at first and third, and Duke Snider is at the plate for the Mets. Play on Fernandez goes 1-6. Snider swings it out now as Raymond is up and set. Here's the pitch, and it's fired low for a ball, low and inside. Cloninger continues to throw in the bullpen for the Milwaukee Braves. Sammy Taylor is now on deck for the Mets. Hickman's the base runner at third. Harkness is the base runner at first. There's a throw over to first, not in time. Harkness is only a step off. The Mets want to get Hickman in there from third base. He represents tying run. Here is a swing and a miss. It's 1-1 as Snider took a ripple all the way around at that one. The Braves have 9 runs on 11 hits. The Mets now have 8 runs on 13 hits. Milwaukee Braves playing the infield at double play depth here. 1 man out. Rod Raymond getting his sign. He is up and into a stretch position. Runners lead first and third. The pitch to Snider. Swung on and foul back. It's out of play. 1-2. Raymond now working on the ball, looking around the outfield. Turns to get a sign for the 1-2 pitch to Snider. appeared as a pinch hitter in the bottom of the sixth, drew a walk, and stayed in the game. Raymond is set. Steps off the rubber. Snyder steps out of the batter's box. Once again, pitcher and batter are getting set. Raymond into the stretch position. The pitch swung on, and there's a fly ball in short center. McMillan is lining it up. And very short center, makes the catch, runs it back to the infield. Hickman tags and just comes off the bag 2 or 3 steps. There is no throw as McMillan runs it back, and that'll bring up Sam Taylor. 2 men out. Taylor has been up twice in this game and has 2 hits. Had a single to drive in 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Ground single up the middle in the bottom of the 5th. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning here with the Braves leading by a score of 9-8. Sammy Taylor with a wide stance. In and waiting. Raymond set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Low curveball. Strike 1 count. Sammy Taylor. Hickman opened up this inning for the Mets with a single, and Fernandez followed him with a double. But thus far, the Mets have been unable to push across a run here in the 7th inning. Pitch swung on and missed. It's 2 strikes now to Sammy Taylor. Larry Bernard's continuing to throw in the Met bullpen. With Ken McKenzie due up next in the Met batting order. Rod Raymond shakes off the sigh. He's set. 2-strike pitch. Turns him inside for a ball. It's 1-2. The Mets at one point were down 8-0 in this game. Now the Braves lead 9-8. Milwaukee defense pull Weir on toward the right side on Sammy Taylor. This is the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Struck him out on the side. Is retired. As Rod Raymond fished himself out of trouble there. The bottom of the 7th, the Mets got no runs on 2 hits. No errors and 2 left. So at the end of 7 full innings of play, it's the Milwaukee Braves 9 and the New York Mets 8. And we're going to bring you up to date here on scores of other games. Cubs defeated the Giants this afternoon in the first game of a doubleheader. Score was 9-5. The Cubs had 9 runs on 13 hits and no errors. The Giants 5 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. Dick Ellsworth, the winner, with help from Don Elston in the 8th. Ellsworth, by the way, has won 8 games and lost 3 now. Jack Fisher started with the loser for the Giants. Perry in the 5th, Buffalo in the 8th. Willie Mays homered in the first inning with 1 on. He's 11th of this year. His 379th career home run. Then Kenny Hubbs homered for the Chicago Cubs. Ernie Banks hit 2 home runs, number 9 and number 10 for him this year, numbers 344 and 45 in his career. Billy Williams homered, Lou Brock homered, also for the Cubs, and Harvey Keene homered in the 8th with 1 on for the Giants. St. Louis Cardinals are at Philadelphia tonight. The Cincinnati Reds are at Pittsburgh tonight. The Dodgers are at Houston tonight. The American League, the Yankees are at Baltimore tonight. The Red Sox are at Washington tonight. The Detroit Tigers at Cleveland tonight. The Minnesota Twins are at Kansas City tonight. The Chicago White Sox meet the Los Angeles Angels in a twilight doubleheader on the coast. Tim Harkness stays in the ballgame for the Mets at first base. He batted for Cliff Cook and stays in at that position. the Milwaukee Braves will send up Henry Aaron in this, the top half of the 8th inning. Aaron has singled and tripled in 4 trips today. And in running down that triple in the top of the 6th, Jimmy Piersall slightly sprained his right ankle. Here's a swing and a base hit. On the ground up the middle in the center field. Glove by Snyder, plays it into second, and Aaron holds at first base. As he opens up the 8th inning for the Braves with a single off Ken McKenzie, and now it's Eddie Mathews coming up. Mathews has 3 for 4 today. A single, a double, and a single, and he has driven in 2 runs. Larry Bernard still throwing in the Mets bullpen. Kenzie sets. Harkness holds against the run with the pitch to Mathews. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Charlie Neal on the edge of the grass at third against the left-hand batter. Aaron leads at first base. Pitch is swung on and missed. It's strike 2 now to Eddie Mathews, who asked that umpire Ed Vargo examine the ball. He does, takes the ball out of play. And Sammy Taylor another one. He rubs it up a little and fires it on back out to Ken McKenzie. The Mets had their biggest inning of the season. The bottom of the 6th when they scored 7 runs. Pitch is high for ball. 1-2. The Mets are off tomorrow. The St. Louis Cardinals here Friday night, Saturday afternoon, a doubleheader Sunday, and then the Cincinnati Reds come in. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and it's in there for a call. Strike 3. McKenzie. Caught Mathews looking. 1 away. Henry Aaron holds at first, and Don Dillard will be coming up here, except he's being called back to the dugout just for the moment. And Bubba Morton is coming out. Bubba Morton is coming out to bat for Dillard here. Morton has been up 24 times, has 4 hits. 2 runs batted in for the Milwaukee Braves. Came to them from the Detroit Tigers. Bubba Morton is the right-hand batter. And McKenzie leans over to get his sign from Sammy Taylor. He has it. Aaron leads, and the pitch to Morton is swung on and has a high fly ball to left field. Frank Thomas is underneath. Wind blows it over a little. Thomas is there, and he makes the catch.